light. Go, go, go. Well, good evening and welcome to Season 9, Race 2 of AOR's GT3 series. I'm Rage F1 and I'm brought to you by Saffzo. How you doing, buddy?
Alright, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. We've got a second race on our hands. It involves Nürburgring and 40 very spicy boys.
Oh, do we have 40 of them today?
Oh, about 40, I would say, about 40. Do you think we're going to get craziness into turn... Well, I guess it wasn't even a turn. Down the back straight, like we had last time out. I hope not.
Hopefully not, no. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some action down into turn 1.
Do like a bit of turn 1 action, not gonna lie. Let's say hello to everyone who's joined us today. Howdy. How are we doing? How is everybody getting on? We are about to, at least. Oh, God, we're seeing the back of a car. How dare we? There we go. We're about to go live-ish. Free practice has finished into qualifying session for round 2 of season 9. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm excited. Green light, go, go, go. We are off and ready to go. Let's just get into the whatchamacallit drive. There we go. We're in it. We're going. Absolute scramble to get out of the pit there, Saf. Everyone wanting to get a time in very, very quickly. I haven't seen a scramble like that before in a long time. Is there weather on the way? Can you see anything? Oh, yes, 30 minutes.
Yep,
there's rain.
30 minutes.
Yes, so they desperately want to get out there before the rain starts. That is imperative then. That's why they've all burst out there like an absolute rabble. I've never seen the cars leave the track like that. But there you go. They're out. We're on board with Bogrodowski. Let's see what he can do, opening up his lap. We've only got a fast track. It's not optimum, isn't it? The fastest you can go around here? Pretty sure it's optimum track.
I believe so, yes. And something to know with the weather is, well, it says 30 minutes, but because the one before that is 10 minutes, you can be anywhere in that interval, meaning the last few minutes could be rain. Hence, again, why they want to head out now, because it's only going to get colder and colder as that rain approaches. Yeah. And there is only one driver in the pits.
Okay, well, they're out quicker than many.
Oh, and they're just heading out there.
Okay, perfect. Turned you up to maximum, Saf, so you're quiet again. So I think it's a me problem, I think.
This is better.
Oh, very much so. Let's just turn you down a little bit.
Oh, okay, wait. How about that?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Lovely.
Perfect. Right, we're still with Bogrodowski. Don't know why we've chosen him, but we have. How is everyone this fine evening? I hope you're fed and watered before we get on for a whole hour's worth of GT3 racing. See, let's go PCDC. Everyone loving the PCDC team in the chat. Rainy day on the ring. This is going to be good. It's going to be good. The ring's tough. Midfield's pretty tough. The back straight is also. It's such a varied track. This. You've got long sweeping corners in the third sector, second to third at least. You've got some tight twisty stuff in the infield, which is also very good to see. And you've got some high speed corners in the middle of sector 2. So it has a bit of everything, very much so, a bit of everything around the Nürburgring. So it starts off turn 1 called Yokohama, then we get into the arena sections, turns 3, 4, and then 5 is down the hill towards 6. Nice little hairpin at 7. Then you've got the kink of 8 and 9, which is pretty much flat in these cars. Down a couple of gears, lifting off into 10. The nice left-hander of 11. This week, open up the cars into 12. And then hard on the brakes to 13. Nice chicane section into 14. 15 round the left-hander and then across the line to finish off the lap. It's quick, this one. It's not very long as opposed to its bigger brother that we are home of, but it is one of those laps that definitely makes the knuckles go white. We're still with Bogrodowski. Let's see if we can go on board to see how he opens up his first lap. How do you normally prepare yourself for a first lap? Do you like to get a real banker in, or do you just go hell for leather, Saf?
Usually banker in this situation. I'd actually say just try and push it on every lap. The track's going to be getting colder, that's going to make the tyres less grippy. I'd actually say push now, but in a usual situation, if there was no rain coming, nothing like that, definitely a banker first. Make sure you actually get a time in, because you know it's the same as the race. To finish first you have to set a time in terms of qualifying.
Correct.
So if you push it too hard, invalidate the lap, doesn't matter how quick it is, it's invalid.
Yeah. I can't remember who said that. That's a famous quote, isn't it?
The one about finishing a race first, yes.
Yes.
I can't remember that.
Chat, help us out. Go, Amir. Go, pretty much. Yes. Amir Sini, I'm assuming you're talking about. Third place out last time around. 81 points on the board for now. Dara McCormack is currently second place on the board, but I think that's going to change in a minute as everyone rounds the final corner to set some lap times. We've got lap times being set already. Where does Bogdaditsky put himself? Come on, Nicky, across the line he goes, and that is good enough for 6th place at the moment, but a little slower than everyone. Luke Whitehead setting the pace then with a 1:53.7. George Boothby, Dara McCormack 3 and 4 tenths, almost 5 tenths back. Schill also back from him, 5th place. Babin 6th, King 7th, Posh is in 8th, now pushed down to 9th. And we've got lots more people coming in. Amir Hassini's just set a lap time. He's got himself up into 4th place. We've got people coming in thick and fast, but Luke Whitehead has managed to stay up there with that 1:53.7. That's a good lap considering the splits behind.
Yep, that's already quicker than the times they're doing in practice. I believe the quickest lap was a 53.8 set by McCormack, the current championship leader. So Whitehead already quicker than that. He was only 100th behind McCormack, I believe, in practice, so he's definitely up there for pace so far. But if the race is in the rain, then we'll have to wait and see how that changes things. And speaking of McCormack, he is only in 9th place at the moment, nearly half a second down, so that is not ideal. We'll obviously need to set at least 1, if not 2 more times.
Yep. More times definitely need to be coming in. George Boothby, one of those guys who needs to be setting more time. He's 2 tenths down at the moment, but he's looking like he's building on that. Jan-Marcel Dietrich behind him, also 2 tenths up. So we're going to see some improvements here, Saf. Some very close to Luke Whitehead's time. But Luke is also pushing on. He's 2 tenths up in the first sector, so we'll keep an eye on where he comes across the line. 53.7 is his time already. Boothby's found 3 tenths. He's got 3 tenths here. He could overtake Luke Whitehead for provisional pole. Coming across the line then, it looked pretty good. And it's only good enough for 2nd place. Oh, look at that. 100th away from Luke Whitehead's time. But Luke's going to improve as well. Where's Luke? It looks like he was coming around the last corner. Yeah, there you go. In the Porsche, crossing the line. He's going to extend his lead by another, almost 2 tenths, 1.7. Very, very happy with that. I think he will be incredibly good fortune to come away with pole position. Again, Dara McCormack then. Last time out, race winner. The pressure's on though here, Saf. We were talking about how to cope with pressure coming from either a championship win or a win just from the race before. You know, it can have a knock-on effect, or it can also have the effect of boosting your performance, right?
Yeah, it completely depends how you take it. For McCormack, obviously that was a very substantial win from last week considering the circumstances he was in. So obviously a lot has changed since then. He's had time for that to process, so it's maybe more in his usual rhythm. What preparation he usually takes for a race, for a qualifying, he's going to be more in tune with that. But of course, with others, they're now back in the grind. They're no longer dusty. They've had a week. They've done a race. They're fully back in it. So it's a case of, has he taken it a bit easy? Is this track not just going well with him as France did? That there's so many factors, it's impossible to tell how he's taken it, what's happened during. It's going to have to just wait and see with the results.
Yep, we are, as you were chatting there. We've got BMW Niels has put himself just ahead of George Boothby by, Jesus, 5,000ths of a second. That's nothing at all. Incredibly close at the top there.
Got news, McCormack is nearly 4 tenths up on his time, and he's within 3 tenths of Whitehead.
Yeah.
He's lost about a tenth through the chicane, but he's gained it back through the hairpin. But this should be at least provisional pole. He's had the exact same time as Boothby. 2,000 quicker than Whitehead.
Oh my Jesus. I don't think he can believe that. I think he's stunned. Stunned like we are watching. He's going through another one though, Saf. That's the main thing. Absolutely incredible. Well, there you go. That's what happens when they get to this kind of stage. They set the exact same times. Luke Whitehead, look at that. 2,000ths behind. And we're getting more improvements. Malinowski decides to open up the purse. He's 500ths behind. And then obviously there, Jardier. That's a very good time for Jardier. Look, only a tenth behind the lead in pole position. Very good time for the 39 car. Very well done. He'll be very happy with that, considering qualifying wasn't the best last week, but needless to say, he'll be very impressed with the 5th place today. Incredibly pleased, I would have thought. Anyone coming over from Jardier's chat, do say congratulations and well done with that time. He'll be very, very happy. If I'm Luke Whitehead, I'll be punching the air right now. Very close indeed. Right, let's see what's going on. Malinowski's 2/10 up, but he's got a long way to go to the line, Saf.
Yeah, another person who's on the lap, Whitehead, he's got about a 10th in the first sector so far. He's lost about half of that. But he's not down on this time, so as long as he can... I mean, again, he's only 2 thousandths off. If he can just find 5 thousandths of a second, that'll put him into pole for the time being. And considering now it's, what, 10-15 minutes till the rain will be coming, the track is only going to keep coming colder and colder. So that I think this is probably the crucial time, because this is where it's going to be the best mix of cold for the engine, and it's going to be warmth for the tyres, so... It's going to be an interesting time, I think, these next 5 minutes. We may actually not see any improvements on times about 3 minutes from now. We'll have to wait and see.
Of course, that weather's going to come into effect, isn't it? That's what we were worried about. Yeah. We'll see. So I had to leave you very briefly there. To scream to my other half to turn the oven off. I could feel the house burning down. Literally felt fire lapping my cheeks. Been averted. We're all good. Malinowski coming across the line. Reddery Masood, look! He's displaced all of them! Where did that come from? 153!
No idea. Because I was about to say Whitehead 2 thousandths off was 2 thousandths up. Now he's not even up, and he now needs to find 2/10 to get on that front row. So it's going to be a bit of an ask, but Whitehead has been up there.
Let's have a look on board. See if we've got any rain. I don't think we have. 10 minutes it says, so I think we're all good to the end here, Saf.
Yep.
I think we're all good to the end. Masood coming across the line with a 153.3, displacing all of them. Malinowski thought he'd got pole, but no, he was pipped straight away, or at least didn't do any better. Trevor Wenham coming in and beating the boys behind Boothby. McCormack, Whitehead and Jardier then pushed down 2 places. Let's see what happens here. We're on board with George Boothby. He's a 10th up through Sector 1. The Porsche does look strong today, you're right. Incredibly strong. Well, who would have guessed it round here that the Porsche was good? Rain will come too late for this session, so the track is getting better and better. You're correct, Voodoo. I think all of the boys have also spotted that fact. That's why they are all going hell for leather. Well, they wanted to get out soon, so that's why they all darted out of the pits very, very eagerly. Boothby is currently not improving. He's going as fast as he's gone before, but crucially, Saf, no improvements.
Because he's still got chicane and hairpin to go through, so anything can happen there, but yeah, I think he'll have to go at least one more time. He's running out of time. He's not going to be able to set this time, and then one more after that, and that's going to be it. So I believe either Trevor Wenham or BMW Niels. I think BMW Niels has just gone up to 3rd place, 1.5 tenths off the pole, and yeah, Boothby doesn't improve, half second down. We'll have to set a couple more times. He's got, I believe, 2 more laps, so it's going to be very tight on the line for his last lap.
No improvements then, or just very minor ones from Boothby. A little bit more needed. Looking at the timings at the moment, you're right. What have we got changing? Yeah, Niels did improve slightly. He's gone up to 3rd place. What are we looking at a little bit further back? Jardier's in 8th place. He's not improving by the looks of things. Trevor Wenham, is that a new improvement there? Didn't see him up there, but maybe he has. Getting confused now.
A minute or 2 ago.
Yeah, Jardier is up a couple of tenths, so we might go on board with him. But Reddy Masood is actually improving, and so is BMW Niels. So maybe we should see what happens with BMW Niels. This is probably getting towards the end of the qualifying session here.
Another improvement, Dietrich, up to 3rd.
Oh, yes, you're right, Jan-Marcel Dietrich. He was doing very well, actually, in the beginning part of this qualifying session, just outside of the top 5, but doing very well. So now he's up into 3rd place. That's a 2nd row start if you can hold on to it. But there's improvements coming everywhere, mainly from this man we're currently watching now, BMW Niels, off the back of a 2nd place podium. See if he can get himself on the spiky end of the grid. Obviously, we've got it's a right-hander into turn 1, so it doesn't matter, I don't think, if you're not on the front, if you're not on the best side of the front row. It's all's fair, I think, because it's a left then a right then another. No, it's a right then a left then another left, so we'll see. We shall see. What can BMW Niels do then? Running to the line. I think he's all even. I don't think it's a very, very small improvement. It's going to take him a little bit further away from Hassini, but Hassini behind is doing a very good job by the looks of things. Whereabouts is he on track? Can't quite see. That looks like it's coming through 9, possibly. It's very hard to tell. It was going through 9 and 10. Just coming up to it now. There we go. He is still up. Renaud Massoud is flirting with his times. He does improve there, goes up a 10th. Very well done for him. But, well, we're coming to the end. Some of these boys are going to be able to do another one. Valentin Barrier, Hakuizi, and Schaefer all are going to be bowing out of this session. Let's see what Hassini can do. He's got a 10th in the purse here, Saf. It's hard to keep it, though, in this section, isn't it? The slow section.
It is. Just trying to find anyone else who's improving at the moment.
Boothby is. Hassini to the line. He might get one more run at it as well. There you go. He improves his place to 6th place. That's a very good job done for him. We've got 0 hour then on the times. Anyone else who hasn't come across the line now won't get another ride to the end. But crucially, Amir Hassini, if he's got enough juice in that car, he can go for one more. No, he hasn't. Look. He just about ran out. And he's not going to take any further part. He's in 6th place. No higher than 6th place for Amir Hassini. That's 3rd row on the grid. We're watching Malinowski now. He's coming through turns 9. He is improving. George Boothby also improving. Crucially, though, Boothby is a 10th up.
McCormack is over 3 tenths up. This could be pole position. It is for now. 35,000.
Dara McCormack. Can he make it 2 in a row? George Boothby's a 10th up here. Go on, stretch it, George. He's 2 tenths up. We could see a titanic fight for the podium here.
This is going to
what
be
can
pole.
he do, Saf? Is it going to be pole? Is it going to be second?
He's got it.
He has! Oh, there you go. Pole position for George Boothby. Incredible. Malinowski's still not out, though. He's 3 tenths up, Saf. This could be a Tortellini day here in Nürburgring. Is it going to be another change? It is, Saf! We got a 3rd change. Malinowski putting it across the line with a 1:53.1 was the final time. Jardier's 2 tenths up, though. He needs more than that. He needs another 10th or so. I think he's going to put himself inside the top 4. No, he doesn't. It's only 6th place, unfortunately, but I think that is all she wrote. Luke Whitehead, he's 3 tenths up. Can Luke Whitehead do anything, Saf? If anyone can, it's going to be Luke.
Yep. Darren King goes across the line up into 8th. So it's good. Old Trevor Wenham goes into barrier. Very exciting.
4 tenths for Luke Whitehead.
He's just found a massive amount in the last corner. This could be, but I've said it about 3 times now. This is going to be pole position.
It is!
Yep, there we go. 8,000 to the second.
4 changes. There you go. There's your final run-up. Luke Whitehead, Malinowski, Renaud Massoud, George Boothby, Dara McCormack, BMW Niels, Jardier inside the top 10. Everyone's going to be happy about that. We've got Arthur Kramer. We haven't seen him inside the top 10 before. Well done to him. Darren King, also another YouTuber upside the top 10. And then we've got, I think, is that Jean-Marcel Dietrich, managed to keep it inside the top 10 too. Amir Hassini, look, pushed all the way down to P11 after that. Absolutely incredible. Really, really good stuff. And oh my goodness, full of rain here today.
But look at the weather time. It's going to dry up.
Very quickly.
Within the first 10 minutes. But it looks absolutely torrential down there. So what's it going to be? Torrential for like a minute or 2, dry up a bit, and then actually go into dries.
Well, we're definitely going to have a switch over. It's whoever's going to pull that switch over someone else is going to make a huge amount of time, as it always is in those kind of conditions. Well, let's go through the top 10. We have Luke Whitehead and Malinowski, 1 and 2. That's the front row. Renaud Massoud, George Boothby in the second row. Dara McCormack, we thought he'd done it. He'd almost got pole position. He'll be joined by BMW Niels on the third row. Jardier and Arthur Kramer. That's a hard one to say. They'll be on the fourth row. Darren King and Jean-Marcel Dietrich will be on the fifth row. Rounds out the top 10. Coming further back, we've got Amir Hassini, Trevor Wenham, that's sixth row. Angus Fender and Samir Foch in the seventh. We've got Mikhail Nowicki in 15th place, 16th place for Gregor Schill. That's the 8th row, I'm pretty sure. 9th row is Amanda Hercuisi and Mats Anderson for PCDC. Then we've got Nick Babin and Jura Petrichenko in the, I think that's the Nissan that caused all of the trouble last time out on row 10. So I know Jura's very apologetic in the Discord at the end of that session. Dominic Goltz and Alexander Novikov will be in the 11th row. 12th row, Hugo Merles, Valentin Barrier. Now that's a row I'd not like to be behind, sadly, for Robin Schaefer and Remy Papin. They are in 26th and 27th. 28th and 29th is Ivan Shemenensky and Franik Briatel, I think that is. And then Marcus Lawrence and Adam DeBeal will be a little bit further back from them. What have we got further back there? It's Matthias Lato in 32nd, Kevin Niles in 33rd, Niki Bodroditsky, who we were watching at the beginning, he'll be starting in 34th, and then right at the back we've got Steve Favre, and he is in the H3 car in 35th. Well, here we go. Life Story Luke managed to do it, and he took a lifetime to do it in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's... yeah, words. He's Life Story Luke. Maybe he was taking a lifetime to do that. Who knows?
Exactly the same joke that I just made. He took a lifetime to come good. No, he didn't. He's taken a little while to switch on this season, though. But he is in a new car, so we'll let him off. I
didn't even notice that.
He likes to mix things up, does Luke. First, I think we met him in the McLaren. He then did some endurance racing in the Bentley. And now actually, I think we first met him in the Ferrari, then McLaren, then the Bentley. Now he's doing a season in the Porsche. So good to see that Luke likes to mix up the chassis. Nicely done. But look at that, 1, 2, 3, almost a front row lockout. Rock out with the lockout in the Porsches. Very good stuff. It will be dry on the formation now. I don't think it will. It's going to be wet for a while. But do excuse me while I rid my nasal passages of excess fluid, because I am full of savagery today, Saf.
Why is that?
I've just got horrific nose aids from my son.
Ah.
Yeah. So, sniffles, mate. The sniffles, you know? It's that time of
Yeah,
year.
the sniffles.
The sniffles. Don't worry, it's not Roni. I shoved some plastic up my nose. It's all good.
Careful how you wear that.
What should I do it the other way around? Should we read it backwards? No, it's no Rona. We're all good for the Corona. Double check.
It's very good.
Yeah. You get sniffles, you got to double check these days, don't you? Got to check for the Rona.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm just realised this is an hour-long race again.
It is, of course. It's always an hour long. Apart from the middle race, which is an hour and a half. We're not there yet. We've got the endurance one, the super endurance, whatever they want to call it. The slightly longer one than the normal. Don't know where we're doing that. Shall we have a look? Don't know if it tells us in the deets, but I shall see if it does. Let's see. Brands Hatch. Race settings. Can I see those? 60 minutes.
It'll either be Brands Hatch or Hungaroring.
Donny, no. I would have thought Hungaroring would be long and big enough to do an hour and a half. Yes, there you go. When we get to Hungaroring, there's your 90-minuter. So, there you go. Well, can Darren McCormack make his way back through to the front like he did so brilliantly, or led from the front like he did so brilliantly last time out in Paul Ricard? He's got Niels only just behind him. That's exactly how they finished last time round as well. And then Amir Hassini is down there in 11th place, well out of the fight, unfortunately. Whereabouts is Gregor Schill? Gregor, where are you? He's in 16th place, so that was the top 4, and then Malinowski rounded out that top 5. He's starting in 2nd place. Life Story Luke obviously had that disaster at the end. Can't remember what happened to him, but he had the drive-through, put him down to 10th place. Very disappointing for Luke. He's looking to right those wrongs today. Hopefully he can do that. Redoui Masood, where did he finish last time out? He finished in 8th place, so always up there is Masood, so don't discount him. And then obviously we know what the likes of Boothby finished in 6th last time. We know what he can do. But yeah, be good to see Malinowski put his stamp on this race. Obviously Luke Whitehead back to form. Who are you pipping for the top 3 here?
I don't think it's going to be in the same... Well, it might be. It's going to be, I think, the same drivers that are currently in the top 3, but whether they're in the same order, I'm not sure. Go Malinowski first, Whitehead second, Masood third.
I think the Porsches are going to struggle a lot in this wet weather, but they'll come good towards the end. So I'm going to struggle to say anyone else but George Boothby, Dara McCormack, and then Luke Whitehead. I think, but possibly it could go a different way. We've never seen Luke Whitehead start from the front, have we? He's always the fight back kid. So we'll have to see how he can take the pressure of leading this pack of 35 cars round on a start, and he's got no experience of that so far in this season. So I think it'll be very interesting to see how he manages that pressure. First of all, I think we should start on board with someone who can see the front row. Maybe Dara McCormack. Let's start on board with a car. We'll start on board with the last time out race winner. We'll go to the helicam into turn 1, but I want to see how you start in these kind of conditions so you boys can see exactly what it's like to start in these horrific horrific conditions. Someone in the pits, did you say?
Yep.
Oh, was it Jura?
In the pit lane, not just like teleported to the pits, actually either doing the pit stop.
Oh, we got some drive-throughs from the start there. Fender and Novikov. Gregor Schill is in the pits as well. Looks like the car's got away absolutely fine going down into turn 1. Luke Whitehead still ahead, but Malinowski getting the front nose round the outside of turn 1. I think Luke Whitehead's going to have to settle for second place. Look at Boothby though on the inside. He's pushing McCormack back. There's going to be a little bit of a concertina as we go back through the pack there. What's going on with Jardier and that further back? I think we're all good. You can see the snake working its way through. We'll go back to Darren King. Maybe even further back to Jura. I think we're all good. I think we made it through, Saf.
For the time being. But yeah, Malinowski actually got a better start than Whitehead and was actually ahead going into turn 1. So it's just a case of Whitehead was trying to get back past down the inside, couldn't pull it off. And now the Yassi Porsche ahead of the GTWR R8G Academy car. That's an absolute mouthful.
Is that Luke's team?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not tried to read it yet either. Ignore the timing screen on the side. It's having a moment. We'll let it come back to normality.
Should be fine in a moment.
Yeah, it should work its way out. What we could do today, we probably shouldn't try it on a wet weather because the server's probably suffering enough. We could try the replay function today if we need to. All right, guys. Ooh. I didn't want to spice it out on the first race, but I think we can take a risk on the second. So we might give those replays a go. So if you see any action, Saf, call it out with the trademark. Oh, there's a big crash. Oh, there is a big crash at the background. Was that Niels? No, I don't think it was. It was Kramer in 11th. Let's have a look. Looks like there was a spin, but I think we're all good. Yeah, it was definitely a black Ferrari round. A black? No, it wasn't. It was Schill. It was Schill. There we go. And he's in the pit. Decides to pull the car over. Very early as well. He'll go right down to the back of the pack there because of that little incident, unfortunately for him. Let's do a lap on board then with the likes of Luke Whitehead, see what he can do to get past Malinowski, currently taking the fastest lap behind Malinowski. I'm not too sure how he did that because Malinowski finished the lap in front, but apparently this game seems to think that otherwise. How does that work?
No idea.
2 tenths back, but got the fastest lap on the first lap of the race. Chat, help us out here. Not too sure that computes in my book, but hey-ho.
Oh, man, going for it. Oh, he's round. They're both round. No. Oh, and he's caught BMW Niels.
He didn't hold the brakes. He did not hold the brakes. That is crucial, and I think he's going to have penalty points coming his way.
I think that's probably. I wouldn't be surprised if that's maybe a 10-second and 2 penalty points, because that was a bit clumsy from him. That's not the usual action we see from him. So.
Will you join me? Will you join me?
Oh, and he sent a McLaren. He nearly sent a McLaren round. That was Lucas Cruiser. Nearly sent him round. Whitehead needs to clean up the activators in the rain, but yeah, and that sent Boothby now into the lead.
Well, there you go. I was going to say, will you join me in a 30-second replay? We did it, saw the crash, and we saw it from the aerial view of him not holding the brakes and just tagging BMW Niels, unfortunately.
McCormack on Masood, sorry to interrupt you, but
No
McCormack's
problem.
gone down the inside of Masood. He's gone far too deep there and will maybe lose the positions harder yet. Can't quite get the move done, but the Porsche will have a better exit down this back straight up towards the King. We'll have to wait and see what happens on the chicane, but yeah, McCormack just went trying to go down the inside, technically got the move done, but just went far too deep. And Masood was able to get back on the exit. McCormack nearly lost it to Hardier.
Look at George Boothby managing to luck out because of that situation. Incredible stuff there. You're right, McCormack almost losing a position to Jardier behind, but didn't. We're all good. That was an idiotic move, said chat. Well, you know, if you no longer go for a gap type memes, but hey, it was very wet on the inside. You can steal the standing water. As soon as I saw that standing water, I knew he wasn't going to stop, and I think he did too. So I think there will be apologies in the chat there afterwards, but never mind for him. I think he will be on the charge to get back through the pack. Whereabouts does that put him? 14th place. Malinowski in 13th. He'll be screaming in Tortellini, unfortunately. But never mind, not really much he can do about that. Where's BMW Niels? Did he manage to get slightly unscathed, or is he even worse off? Whereabouts is he? He's in the pits.
Very. So has he given up then?
I'm not. I don't think he's given up. I think he might have come in for a pit at some point.
No, he hasn't come in for a pit. He's in 20. Actually, is he in the pits?
He'll have green by his name if he has. No, he hasn't. He's in 25th place. I'm not too sure.
He's in 21st. He was in 25th. He's now in 21st.
Ah, okay. So he's making moves up. I can only see him at the moment in 25th. Not really too sure what's going on.
Yeah, it says that on mine as well.
Arc, I think you have. It's total Luke Whitehead, I think, at the moment, as opposed to Wipeout. But yeah, unfortunately, Life Story Luke took out Malinowski from the lead by trying an optimistic dive into turn 4. Not really too sure what he was trying, but he gave it a good old go. We just watched Briettel, I think, there, Franek, as we should probably call him, get very, very sideways, going through turn 10 and getting overtaken there by Jura, and then BMW Niels taking Jura on the outside of, I think that's 10 as well. Maybe it was a little bit before that we saw that incident, but anyway, silly move, says chat. Yeah, I think so. I think it was a little bit hot under the collar. Could have waited till the dry track, I think, maybe to make a move, but wanted to get it done, obviously.
Yep, so 25 had a little bit of a spin, but they're back on their way. Charlie is not falling back from McCormack. McCormack, current championship leader, not pulling away at the moment, so whether that's due to the wet weather or don't know what's happening. Maybe Johnny is just pretty quick today. And that's win. It would be great if he got a podium today, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And seeing as he's pushing for one right now, it could come today. Changeable conditions always give upsets and also favourable results, so you never know. So the YouTuber vying for a podium with AOR. First we've seen, at least. Probably the first for him too, at least in Tier 1. So we'll keep an eye on what happens. Apparently, chat saying Anderson got killed. Is that a PCDC Anderson? I hope not. Maybe we'll touch base with him in a bit. Can't quite see him on the list, so I think that's probably quite correct. Whereabouts is he? Yeah, Mats is down in 28th place at the moment, but has he pitted? No, he hasn't. There he is. PCDC Mats. And then Anderson, unfortunately, got yeeted. Yeah, a lot of damage on the side of that car. Let's go back with Jardier. And who's behind him, look, for company? He's got Darren King.
Darren King.
Yeah, no, that's going to be his fastest, isn't it? Yeah, silly move and braking while rolling backwards is just a dumb move. Not braking, yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah, he didn't hold them. Unfortunately, not holding of the brakes is, yeah, punishable by many, many penalty points. I think live story Luke, unfortunately, will be hearing the live story of the stewards quite soon. But, you know, everyone makes mistakes. It was just one of those, I think. He got the spin. Didn't really know where the car was, and unfortunately he was drifting back into the oncoming traffic. I think he connected there with BMW Niels. Never mind, but let's see what Darren King can do to make his way past Jardier, as he also tries to make his way past Dara. Getting out of the slipstream, look, breaking slipstream, and slow. So is King, look, in the background, trying to break the slipstream. Oh no, they're not. They're trying to cool tyres here.
Yep. I was about to say they're still on those wet tyres, and it's still a wet track. But you can see there's now a line starting to form the dry line. So just trying to get rain on those tyres to cool them down until they're ready to switch over.
That switchover is going to be coming reasonably soon. We've just got to wait for the track to follow suit, right? There's still quite a lot of standing water, especially if they try and move offline. It will spell disaster. You can see by the on the sidewall of the tyre, there's no yellow mark. They're all on wets, obviously. Can you imagine if anyone went out on the dries at the beginning? Chaos!
Yeah, that would put in quite the error.
Oh, okay, Marcus forgot to click drive at the beginning. That'll be why. But there is a dry line appearing. It's somewhere, there is. Not everywhere. Let's go on board to give you an idea of what it's like. George Boothby then leading from Masood, from McCormack, from Jardier, who are on board right now, and then Darren King. Dietrich just behind. Kramerer in 7th. Fender in 8th. That's a good name for a racing driver. 9th is Samir Foch, and oh, look at him! Amanda Higuizi up to 10th place. Wasn't Schill on drive? I've got no idea. That would be fascinating if Schill was on dries. Shall we double check?
Go for it.
Whereabouts is he though? Oh, he's out. That's why. He's out. Maybe that's why he was on the dries. Oh dear. Can we see him in the pits? I don't think so. I think he's actually left the session now. Oh! McCormack wide! Doesn't look like it's affected him.
No, didn't look like to have an effect when I was on board with him. So still 4 tenths between him and Charlie. I think that final podium slot might be decided by whoever goes onto the dries first or at the correct time.
Dara going wide again, but possibly to cool tyre. We're not too sure at this stage. Lots of people taking alternative lines, the karting lines as they like to say. Still get a good run round, but managed to cool the tyres. Yeah, diving for the inside there with all that standing water. Dara McCormack, I think, struggling for tyre temp, trying to long out these wets as much as possible. See if they can get into the halfway mark. Definitely would be optimal.
I highly doubt they're going to get to the halfway point, considering the track is already trying to say about 40-38 minutes to go. That's when they'll probably start considering it. But it completely depends on how quickly that dry line gets bigger and all the standing water goes away. But I wouldn't be surprised if in 10-15 minutes everyone will be on the dries by then.
Yeah, I think you're probably quite right. Not too long to go. Schaefer is down in 23rd place. He's 2 tenths away from 22nd. So there's a little bit of a fight going on back there. But yeah, no, still kind of in it, but outside the top 20. The back end, unfortunately, at the moment. Yeah, confirmation Schill did start on dries. That's, I mean, effort for trying, I guess. Well done, but it's definitely not the quickest way at the beginning. We've still got wet track, crucially, though, Saf. That's the main thing. Look at the spray as well. Definitely the best tyre to be on. It's just they are struggling in the dry patches.
McCormack is making a few mistakes here and there. Jardier right on the back of him. So if he gets a good enough exit, might be able to have run down to turn. Look how close he is. Let's wait and see. McCormack actually did get a bit of a better exit, but the slipstream down to turn 1 doesn't seem to be having a huge effect. Under 3 tenths. Yeah, McLaren seems to be set up well for the straights. Jardier will probably have to wait at least another lap time to go, unless there was a mistake from
Looks like Jardier's cars are so much more comfortable in the wet through the corners, isn't it? And that McLaren's obviously incredibly fast off the line. It's just counteracting the Porsche's performance. But I think it will come good for Jardier in a minute when he can manage to get a little bit of luck together, try and get past Dara. I think it's a matter of time. Darren King's dropped back slightly, but he's coming under attack from Jean Marcel back there in 6th place. You've got to be careful. McLaren has better traction out of the corners, yeah. You can definitely see that the Porsche is much better on the brakes. But that's McLaren is struggling with lines. You can tell he's all over the place sometimes. I think that's probably what's keeping Jardier in touch. Superior braking of the Porsche. Look what's going on up ahead as well. Masoud's getting very close to Boothby. 7/10 is the gap. We'll keep an eye on that. Dietrich very close to Darren King. Let's go on board. It was 7/100ths a minute ago, but it's opened up now. The Porsche is definitely doing well in this wet condition. See how delicately Jean-Marcel there was with the throttle application. You feel it just building very slowly. That Porsche is so aggressive on the rear end as King sticks to the wet line again to cool the tyres. Well, there's a little bit of time for that, but managed to switch it back onto the wet line before, or the dry line, sorry. Gap's opened up a little bit, 6/10 now between McCormack and Jardier. Back onto that wet line for Darren King. Malinowski's making a couple of moves up the pack there, at the back, trying to get past. It looks like Whitehead's with him, but they have definitely improved. Babin going very deep there. He'll get mugged, I think.
Babin had to change his line to avoid going into the back of Equeezy, outbroke himself, trying to defend from Malinowski. Backfired and now down into 11th place with Whitehead right on the back of him. Look at the damage on the back of Whitehead's car.
Can't quite see that. Let's see if we can get a little
closer.
closer.
His chase cam.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, you can. Ah, we don't do chase cams over here, Saf. Can't be dealing with chase cams. I know, right? There's no chase cams in real life. So Luke Whitehead's got huge damage. You're right. Now the real question is, does he fix it? Is there a pit window? Well, normally there would be. Halfway is the best time. Obviously it depends on where you are, if you've got traffic or not. If you've got free air, you want to push it as long as you can. Or, you know, come in to make sure that you come out into free air. Free air is crucial in this game. You can really put in some good laps. If you get stuck behind a driver, it can really cost you time. But we've got another factor here of the wet weather condition being probably the main decider on when these guys come in to do their pit stops. It's going to be the only decider, I think, really, not just the main. We've got to wait until that track goes from wet to damp, which is coming soon, but not soon enough, I think. You can see, though, that real wet standing water has started to go now, Saf. It's still there slightly, but this is looking more and more like damp conditions, and there's an opportunity here for a driver to get one over, I think, on someone else. I wouldn't be surprised if we see people coming in the next lap or two.
Yeah, I think we are, as you say, a couple laps away from the transition point, and we've also got our first penalty of the race.
Read us through.
It is a 5-second penalty for car 317. That is Nicky, but you can have a go at the last name. Car 317. Yeah, there we go. Car 317 for causing a collision with car 840 on lap 1, turn 1. That is Adam Dubiel he's collided with, and they put the blame on Nicky. Okay,
so Nicky Bogroditsky gets himself a penalty for that. What's he got? 5 seconds. Not too bad.
Yeah.
I think he'll deal with that. He'll be all right. Okay. We haven't got Luke's slap on the wrist just yet. I don't think that's going to be coming very shortly. So is Jean-Marcel Dietrich's coming very shortly. He wants to get past Darren King. Jardier's dropped off the back of Dara as well, which is very interesting. But Darren King hasn't been able to keep up the pace with the guys ahead, crucially. And it looks like Dietrich and Arthur Kramer want to get past. Not ready for slicks at all. No, it's getting there though. This is the thing. It's getting close. Obligatory. Yeah, there is obligatory pit window. You have to pit once. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't matter if there's water or not. Not like other race series.
Masoud is catching up, so to Boothby now down to 3/10.
You are correct. I was just looking at that. It's like Masoud, Boothby, where are they? There they are. Okay, well, let's go
Oh!
Oh!
Boothby had a very poor exit of the chicane, and that's let Masood through.
Punished instantly.
The question is, will Boothby retaliate down into turn 1?
He's going to go for a long sweeper by the looks of things. As Masood calls the tyre. That's cost him a few tenths. Boothby to the inside. Yep, no, not enough there. Both suffering on tyre here. Looks like that Porsche can just push it a little bit further without punishment, but that McLaren just struggling, I think, with heat. It'd be lovely to see what those tyre temps and pressures were at the moment, just to see what's going on. But there is still standing water. Look, that's in the middle of turns 3. You can see the standing water. So when that track ticks over to damp, well, there you go. We called it. It's going to be soon. It's got to be now. I'm so surprised no one's come in. There is definitely an advantage to be had here. Tier 2 drivers, keep a look on. Looks like it happened around 40 minutes. If it's a set rain itinerary, well, there you go. There's your switchover time. I'll be coming in very, very shortly. No one's dived in, you know, early. Got it done. Everyone wants to keep these tyres for as long as possible. You know, the problem is, if you do come in and do it early, that tyre then loses heat, and it's impossible to get it into that window. And it becomes almost even worse to drive on than an overheated wet tyre. So, you know, there is a bit of a trade-off.
It's a case of it's always better, from wets to dries, it's always better to leave it later than sooner, and then sometimes it can be the opposite when it's dry to wet, so... Because obviously with dry to wet you want to make sure you have that grip of the wet tyres as soon as possible. When you're going from wet to dry, you want to avoid the slippiness of the dries for as long as possible.
Yeah, it's a hard decision to make. It really is. You've got to be sure that it's the right time to go. Shout out to Cryptic, driving with Manflu. Which driver's Cryptic? You've got to let us know, because obviously they've got their full names here. You've got to tell us which one. JR, let us know. Apparently Foch killed Trevor Wenham, killed by Trevor Wenham into turn 1. Oof. Big oofs. Lots of Sages all round. What have we got going on then further down the pack? 2 tenths back from King. Dietrich's trying desperately, not able to do it. Malinowski, on the other hand, has got past quite a few people. Luke Whitehead with that damage because of the tap on the rear end with BMW Neil suffering so much more. Can't get past the 2 McLarens of Babin and Hakuizi. Struggling a lot, I think. But the squabbling up ahead could be a possibility to get past. There you go. There's an opportunity presented itself straight away for Luke Whitehead. But he's going to be on the outside down into turn 6. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Sorry, turn 5 into 6. But he does get past. Hakuizi is up next. Hakuizi's not an easy target, so that might take a few laps for him to reel him in a couple more tenths. What have we got going on further back? 21st place. Ivan Shemaninski getting close to Robin Schaefer. Not quite, though. Looks like they'll have to wait a little bit further to get past. So there's Ivan's car, the red and blue. Let's see that. Haven't seen that. There you go. SMP Racing Esport. Not seen that livery before. Looks good. What is this? I'm new. This is ACC AOR's GT3 Tier 1. So this is the fastest boys in the AOR community. So pretty top tier stuff. We've got professional drivers, we've got some high subscribing YouTubers on board, and we've also got some of the fastest amateur drivers out there, all taking part for the championship to win themselves a fantastic pair of SIMSOKs and the accolades of winning AOR's Tier 1. Which a lot of these drivers definitely want. They want that on their mantle. It's one of those leagues that's been around since the beginning, or at least since the evolution of this game, and they've made a good mark on ACC, I would say. AOR started off very much so in F1, Project Cars, all of that, but I think found their home in ACC of recent times. And these are the fastest ones out there, so there you go. These are the fastest ones to take part. Ivan's got a lot of damage on this car, and I think we got some penalties for Life Story Luke.
Do 20 seconds. Readout from race control. So, this is actually, first of all, not for Luke. It's another 10-second penalty now for car 317. That's Nicky again.
Oh,
and that's because, so it was lap 1, turn 1 for their first penalty. For the second penalty, it's lap 1, turn 4. So only 3 turns later, 10-second time penalty, Nicky, for causing a moderate avoidable collision. And that was with cars 115 and 293. So that's Schaefer, and 115 would be...
115 is
Steve.
Steve. Yeah, Fowler, yeah.
Yeah, and that is 10-second time penalty and 2 license points.
And who's that to?
That's to Nicky, their second penalty.
Oh, goodness. Not having a good day in the office, is he, Nicky?
Yep. And then there are 2 penalties for Big Whitehead, hence the 20 seconds on the timetable. So the first one is for the collision with Malinowski. And that is 10 seconds and 2 license points, causing a collision. And then the second one was for, as we pointed out, not slamming the brakes / dangerous driving, 10-second time penalty and 1 license point, and that was for when he tagged Niels with the back of his car.
Oof. 3 license points and 20 seconds worth of penalties. Oh, a queasy round in the background there. Spinning, spinning, spinning. Off he goes. That was turn 14, exit of. Queasy's going to be dropping down a few places there, I think. Looks like Luke Whitehead managed to get past him before that happened. And I think that's BMW Niels actually just behind, managing to make his way past all of that traffic. Poor Queasy down into 16th place. Now, I was saying, yeah, 20-second time penalty, 3 penalty points for 1 dive up the inside on turn 4 on the Tortellini man himself. Didn't work for Life Story Luke, and he's found himself in 10th place with a big old slap on his on his license. Unfortunately enough, but unfortunately that's what happens, you know. Silly move at a silly time of the race, and he didn't adhere to the rules after an incident occurred. So, you know, you can only say that he is fully to blame for that. And I think that's a little harsh with the penalty points, but I think somewhat warranted, right?
Yeah. And actually, he is not the only one who has gone 20 seconds of penalties and 3 license points for 1 incident. We've got another penalty. Oh. It is a 20-second time penalty for car 81. There's Ivan Shermatinsky.
Yep.
Really need to learn these things.
It's a hard one, that one.
Yeah. 20-second time penalty for causing an avoidable collision and 3 license points.
Yeah.
And that was involving cars 22, 72, 26, and 964.
Oh my god, that's Dominic Goltz. 964 is Matson and Anderson, so that's when Matt's got absolutely ruined. And 60, I don't remember the other one, sorry, I can't remember the middle one.
72.
72, okay, that was Valentin Barry, also got the bad end of that too.
26.
Okay, and 26, Jura Petrochenko. Okay, well, a little bit of payback then for last week, where we had Spa 98 all over again, down into turn 1. Never mind. Well, there you go. It's impossible not to notice how much the King has added in skill lately. Well, he's always been up there, Darren King. When I first joined AOR, he was always fighting for the top spots. A little bit of a hiatus in the recent years, but yeah, definitely back to power again and fighting inside the top 10. I think he's a little bit more improvement to do to get onto the podium, but yeah, definitely always knocking on the door in the top 10. And good to see him doing so indeed. But look what we've got going on ahead. I don't know how it's happened. We've missed it, unfortunately. But the crowds will be going absolutely ecstatic. We've got Jarnier in P3.
That has indeed happened.
Dara McCormack struggling.
I'll see if I can catch that on the replay now.
Yeah, it's too far for our replay, unfortunately. We can only go back a minute, but yeah, it looks like there was an incident going on there. Not too sure what happened. I can't see any damage on any of the cars. Interestingly enough, no one has decided to come in and change these tyres. No one's pulled the trigger. There is an obligatory tyre change. Right, what's going on?
So the chicane before the last corner.
Yes.
Yeah, McCormack just fluffed it through there. It was fine through the first part, and then the second part, I'll actually go on board with him because that looks a bit odd. Yeah, he just... So there's the white curves that sort of stick out in the middle on the apex.
Yeah.
He put the car on there and that just destabilized it, put him off the track.
Okay. Well, maybe that that area of the track is hampering the McLaren at the moment, because it's not the only McLaren to have an incident through this fast chicane that we're watching right now. George Boothby was caught out earlier on. That gave the lead to Redoui Massoud, who's currently still running around in that lead. 5/10 back. Boothby's still fighting to get it back. Jardier currently in 3rd place. Dara McCormack, who we're on board with now, in 4th. And Jean-Marcel Dietrich, currently with the fastest lap of the race, in 5th place. Darren King just behind in 6th, doing very well. Arthur Kramer in 7th. And surprisingly enough, Malinowski's managed to claw it back to 8th. Angus Fender in 9th, and then Luke Whitehead just inside the top 10. Yeah, there's your top 10 anyway. BMW Niels, unfortunately, because of that tap with the aforementioned Life Story Luke, is in 11th place. Amir Hassini is outside that with 12th place on the board. Trevor Wenham 13th, Babin, Foch, Equeezy, Papin, Kraser, Goltz and Schaefer all down to 20th. It's ever-changing, this race. It seems to be whoever's on the right place at the right time. It looks mighty good conditions now for a pit. I'm really surprised no one's decided to do it. This is as good a time as ever, Saf.
I think they're waiting for it to transition from damping to the next stage. I think that's when we're going to see pit stops. It is now the halfway point of the race. I'm not seeing much water. There is still some there, but it's definitely more dry than wet now.
Yeah.
So, shouldn't be too much longer. Then again, we said that, what, 15 minutes ago?
I know, we did. Well, we saw some standing water on the apex of 7, and also the run down to 8. I'm sure there's some standing water in the arena section in 2, 3 and 4. But we'll have to see how well it's cleared up before I think they come in. But I think whoever comes in now is rolling that dice, and they're possibly rolling the dice for the win. You've got to be in it to win it, and you've got to be up there. And everyone inside the top, at least 4, is within a second and a half of the race lead. And you could definitely gain that kind of time by coming in at the right time. So whoever decides to put it in at the right time, I think it's going to benefit hugely. Or the complete opposite, and they're actually going to fall off the track. We'll have to see.
Doesn't seem like anyone's taking the bullet this lap. No one in the top 10.
No one coming in yet.
Nope.
Yeah, this arena section is still very damp. Exit of turn 1 was kicking up a lot of spray. Turns 2's okay. What's going on into 3 and 4? Because it was always quite wet here. Yeah, standing water on the apex and on the exit.
Hugo Mills and Marcus Lawrence are fighting for 23rd. Side by side down into turn 1. That is Marcus Lawrence going past Hugo. They went side by side through the last corner and the first corner. Hugo was initially in front, they have now swapped around.
They have, correct. Yeah, JSR saying it possibly could rain towards the end. I don't think it will. You can see in the top there it says it's going to be dry for the next 30. Maybe just waiting for better track temp whilst the rest of the water clears off. Possibly, if you do come in too early, well, I said this earlier on, it's like putting blocks of ice onto the end of your hubs. It's not the best thing to do. So yeah, you've got to pick your battles. It's not like other games where you can come in and gain huge amounts of time, but you can gain space by coming in early, and that space could be crucial to getting in some good lap times to improving your position. So yeah, it's whoever decides to do it first, I think, really is going to be looked at very, very carefully on the lap times. And these boys will have that to their disposal. Some of them will. They'll be looking to see what other people are doing. Especially the first person who comes in, they'll be very eagerly watching what kind of times they do. I think it will come from someone in the back end of the top 10 because they want to make some moves. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Malinowski or Luke Whitehead decide to do it. Talking of Luke Whitehead, oh, he's in 11th. He's got a big old penalty to do, though. That's the only problem. We're not going to see a true representation of his pace when he comes out. Because he would have fallen down so far. I guess we'll see his first lap performance, but yeah, not necessarily a net gain in positions. What have we got going on track then, Saf? What can we watch? Luke Whitehead is actually very close to BMW Nils. I think he's actually lost that position.
Yeah, he's lost it. He was 10th before, he's now dropped down to 11th.
You think that rear end damage is hurting him?
Maybe. I don't think it'd be too much. It just looks like it's some slight scraping, so I don't really think it's having an effect. I think it's more visual than actually having an effect. Another battle that might happen is Remy Papin and Hamada Equeezy for 16.
W. Neal's just dispatched Fender there. Absolutely done him in turn 7. It's almost like Fender gave him the position. I'm not sure if they're on the same team. They've got very similar liveries, actually. It could possibly be a team move there. I think they might actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, they are. They're on the same team. That'll be why. It was a very, very, very quick move. No drama.
Speaking of drama, we've got more penalties.
Oh, God.
So, we have a 5-second penalty for car 115, which I think we said before was Steve.
Yes.
Yep, Steve. That's a 5-second penalty for causing a collision with car 27.
Yep.
But that's with no license points. That was in turn 8. Lap 4, turn 1, 15-second penalty for car 22 for causing a collision with car 25. Car 25 being
Dominic Gultz.
Michelle.
Oh, sorry.
Michelle's the one who got collided with, but whoever you just said is the one who got the penalty.
Gultz got the penalty, yeah.
Yeah, and that is 2 license points as well, as Steve goes off the track, coming towards the last corner. Interesting line. And it's a 10-second time penalty for car 33 for causing a collision with car 888. That was in lap 9, turn 1, and that's also 2 license points.
That will be, I think, Trevor Wenham on, I don't know who that was on. What was the car again, sorry?
888. That's Samir Foch.
Okay. I think that's the second time Wenham's yeeted someone. So,
Well, it's their first penalty.
Apparently there was an incident into turn, well, it was with, I think, PCDC. Matslin Anderson said he got hit. I think it was him. Anyway, we didn't see it on the screen. Luke Whitehead still stuck behind Fender. But Masood's still leading the race, importantly enough. But he's not alone. Look at Boothby. Just over half a second. Jardier just behind him there. This is anyone's race at the moment, Saf. This isn't a done deal. This isn't just a Jardier third place right now that we're watching. This could be a run for the win. I think if it dries up enough...
Oh, he's made another mistake at the chicane.
We have just ticked over to Greasy as well. And he has made a mistake, you're right.
That's the second time he's made a mistake there, and it nearly cost him another position. And yeah, I've just been saying before, about, I think 10-15 minutes ago, Jardier was well over a second behind these two. And before that mistake, he was about 8 tenths behind them. So he has actually been closing up on these two, and now has a chance to take second place even before the pit stop. So if he times his pit stop right, this really actually could be a run for the win.
Yep. 100%. Porsche's legit fast around here. We see it in qualifying.
McCormack's in.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Pulled it in early. We thought it would come from someone just at the back of the top 10, and it does. Anyone else following? Don't think so.
Equeezy's also in. And Bogroditsky is also in to serve that 15-second penalty. And if McCormack's come in, I wouldn't be surprised if anyone from the top 3 comes in as well.
Yeah, it's about that time. It's just who's going to do it, really. They might wait another lap to see what the time is that McCormack manages to pull out. So yeah, it might be worth waiting a lap or two because they're so close. Look, they're fighting. Jardier almost looking for a move. Not quite getting it done into 10. He's going to have to wait, I think. Might have a move down into 13 if he can stay in that slipstream. We'll see. Jardier saying T3 is too much water for the dry tyres. It needs 4 more laps. Well, there you go. If the big man says it himself, then that's what the big man's going to do. Dara is going to be the yard post here. Keep an eye on his times, I think. See what's happening.
If you keep an eye on the battle, I'll keep an eye on what Dara does time-wise. He still hasn't been released from the pits, though. Oh, no, sorry, that's... it seems McCormack is now out on track.
Jardier's absolutely hounding the back of Boothby here. What performance from Jardier this afternoon. It's almost a surprisingly good performance. The Porsche in a very, very good place. But that does come and go through different tracks. Oh, wow, 4th place in. Yeah, you're right. Jean Marcel deciding to come in, get some new boots.
Yeah, I think we are starting to enter the early pit window, not the prime pit window, but the early one. As Whitehead and Husseini are both in as well. So Whitehead will serve that 22nd. Husseini and Babin will also go past. Babin also coming in. So yeah, we are definitely in the early pit window, and the prime pit window will probably be in about 5-10 minutes.
We'll see. We'll see what these guys do. Jardier claiming it needs another 4 laps. Maybe that was a lap or so ago, so probably only maybe 2 or 3 to go. But I think it's going to come in soon. To answer your question, Timothy, all the cars are not technically equal. There's no BOP. It is as the game provided it. Obviously, they will have nuances. Some tracks will suit cars differently. But yeah, that's pretty much how it is, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a spec series, right? So some would say that they are all equal, but they're not. Always looking into turn 10 is Jardier, not quite getting it done. Who's going to come in then? Masoud, Boothby, Honzi. Not too sure who's going to decide. You would have thought Redu and Masoud's going to stay out as long as possible. Look at the gap he's managed to amass himself, whilst these guys squabble. Boothby trying to hold on for position. If I'm Jardier here, I'm coming in. You've got to do it. There's people around you doing it as well. You don't want to be left behind. Oh, Boothby getting a kick again.
None of the top 3 come in.
No, go for one more. Where's Darren King? Is he going to decide to come in early? No, he stays for one more.
Kama doesn't. Malinowski doesn't. Niels doesn't. Fender doesn't.
There we go. What's going on with Dara McCormack?
Wenham does. Wenham has come into the pits. In terms of McCormack, I have to find him. There he is. He does not set a lap time first. He's looking to beat a 2-minute lap time. If he's going to be going quicker, and he's currently about 3 seconds off on the Delta, so he may have actually gone too early. So he's 3 seconds down.
Darren King getting all sorts of squirrely in the exit of 3 into 4. Didn't have a good line there. Jardier and George Boothby still battling. It's fallen back a little bit. Boothby well inside the pit window. They can definitely do it now. Let's. So he's thinking that he's going slightly slower.
Yep,
Dara.
he was. I'll have another look quickly, see if I can find him in time.
202.3. Sorry, 20.3 was his.
Oh, okay. The Delta was lying. He only went 0.2 slower than his best lap.
Yeah.
But the Delta was saying he was over 3 seconds off, so maybe that was to his last lap. I don't know.
He's doing the same lap times as a fighting Jardier and George Boothby. They're both doing 2 deads, 2.5. You know, 2 deads with half a second.
So yeah, I don't know why the Delta was saying he was going over 3 seconds slower.
Definitely not.
Yeah, no, he has actually come in a reasonable time. Looks like. So the question is, if he's already setting somewhat decent time from yep,
they're all in.
They're all in, all 3. Maybe they had someone tell them what McCormack's time was, and I was like, all right, time to come in.
Yeah. Apparently, Jardier's rear tyres are completely red. King stays out. Wow. Okay.
Yep. And so does Camera. Malinowski comes in. Neil stays out. Fenders comes in.
Malinowski almost going into the barrier there on the entrance. That's a bit weird.
Foshin. Dominic Goltzin.
Is that Merla's going past? I see. It's a yellow car.
Cloiser comes in. Hugo Merster's out. Remy Papin comes in. Frank Briot stays out. Leitao comes in. Dubil comes in. Petrochenko stays out. Valentin Barrier comes in. Steve comes in. Oh no, he's hit the barrier on the pit entry. That could be really big damage on his front end.
Oh
no. You know in the F1 game where you go slightly wide and DNF yourself going into the barrier? He effectively did that. He kept going. He hasn't come to a stop. But he hit that barrier hard, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's pretty much front end gone.
Keeping an eye on what Jean-Marcel Dietrich was doing. It looks like he has come out behind the likes of Jardier and George Boothby just up ahead. You can see them there. So wasn't all of the pace that he needed, but he's right there and should be fourth, fifth place. We'll have a little look. Well, net fourth anyway, so technically seventh. Where is he? There's Jardier. On the helicam as it all sorts itself out. Wonder where it's spat out McCormack and Jean-Marcel.
McCormack is net 2 places behind Honzik, so I believe he's about net P5 at the moment.
Yeah. No, you're right, it's sorting itself out. There you go. Yeah, so it goes Masood 7th, which would be first, Boothby 2nd, Jardier 3rd, Dietrich is in 4th, McCormack 5th, Malinowski 6th, and then I'm not too sure if it's right with Fender, Cassini, Babin and whatnot behind, but it will sort itself out. Krozer getting himself a drive-through though. Jura Petrochenko with a 10-second time penalty. He's going to have to serve that soon. Jardier looks like he's lost a bit of distance on Boothby here.
I think that's more Boothby catching up to Masood, because look how much closer he is now. Remember, before the pit stop he was, what, 1.5 seconds back, and now just 0.2 behind. So I think he gained a bit from the pit stop. He's gained more since then, and Jardier's been kind of left back in 3rd place. And that might be all too right for Jardier's race, unless something happens between these two.
I think he'll be mighty happy with a 3rd place though. We'll see at the end of the race, Saf. We'll see. We'll have a chat if he does get himself onto the podium, if he joins us anyway in the booth. A little bit of time to go yet until celebrations. 13 minutes and 34 seconds. Sorry, 40 seconds to be exact. But it is currently Masood from Boothby from Jardier. Obviously Darren King, Camera and BMW Nils, they are leading, but not for long. I think when they pit they'll get easily overtaken here. George Boothby last time out was a 2 minute 5, 2 minutes and 5/10. It's hard to say. Darren King and those alike are running round in 2 minutes and a little bit more. There you go, it has all changed. Darren King now in 5th. Where's who went through with BMW Nils went through with Darren King. Maybe it's just King on his own. Or someone else.
I think it was Camera and Fender, I think, might have come in with them.
You're quite right, but they're all out now, and it's quite a close run between Malinowski, Camera and King. Really close, look, you can see them. Must have come out of the pits right next to each other. Malinowski on a little bit of a fight back this race. Where is Luke then, considering that penalty?
He's in last place.
Oh God!
Dead last, about 25 seconds behind the next car. He has been well and truly whooped.
Race by race, he's ruining his season, isn't he?
It's only the 2nd race of the season.
Yeah, but there's only 8 races. You know, he's a 4th of the way in. Quarter of the way in?
Quarter, yes.
4th?
1 out of 4 is indeed a quarter.
Thank you very much. Quick maths lesson there was that. it's more than a quarter now, because we've finished and ticked off this race, so he's got to really get his act together. I think, to be honest, with today's race, I think he's actually written himself out of the championship, unless he comes back and wins every single race from here on in, which, considering
even then, I think he'd struggle.
Well, with the top guys, the likes of Boothby, McCormack, putting in good, solid position, finishes each race, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough indeed. Boothby has already got a 6th place under his belt. Dara McCormack's hopefully going to get a 5th place under his belt. Where's Niels? He's a little bit further back. It's kind of out of it, unfortunately, today. But still, 9th place is a good haul of points. Dara McCormack, 5th place, good haul of points for his win from last time out. So, yeah, it's all about that, that amassing of points. Didn't we have last season a driver that never got a podium until the last race and managed to finish, I think, 3rd overall in the championship? Was actually fighting for the championship lead at the end. Can't remember who that was now.
Give it a little check.
I will have a little look. It was season 8 standings. It was Tinker van der Velde, do you remember?
Yeah.
Coming through, he got 2nd place on the last race, so it was 6th, 4th, 6th, 10th, 5th, 5th, 2nd. Went for the championship win, but unfortunately George Boothby with his just a massive,
Boothby actually,
huge...
Boothby actually won that in the penultimate race, didn't he?
I think he won it on the last race. It was a championship decider. Tinko still had a chance.
Might be right.
Can't remember now.
I might be thinking of season 7.
Season 7 was won by Kevin Ciclari. I can't go as far back as season 7, unfortunately. Yeah, that was won by Kevin Ciclari, and it was Malinowski versus Kevin in the final race. And there was a touch that decided the championship. And then we had the conversation afterwards that was very awkward, because we got them both talking / arguing, and I was forced to turn off the stream. Well, there you go. George Boothby in 2nd place, still trying to get onto the back of Masood, but it looks like the pace has evened out a little bit. Jardia getting left behind slightly.
Boothby is now losing time to Masood. He was half a second slower last lap. Jardia was actually 0.3 quicker last lap, so he's not dropping back now. Dietrich was 1/10 slower than Boothby. McCormack was 6/10 slower than Dietrich, so it's not looking great for McCormack. King was 2/10 quicker last lap, but he's got a camera right behind him, keeping him honest.
Noise in the stream. What do you mean, Jamie? Let us know. We're on the helicam. It could be the helicopter making the noise that you think.
It is probably the helicopter.
It's probably the helicopter, mate.
I'm so glad I got rid of that helicopter noise. It is horrible.
Can you turn it off?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's in the options somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the audio.
Shut the front door.
It's not like labelled under helicopter audio, but you can get rid of it.
Okay, all right, I'll have a look at that. I did not know that was a thing. I thought, well, if you're in the helicopter, you're in the helicopter. I'm glad that iRacing call it blimp cam instead. So you don't have any noise. Yeah, sorry, that was the helicopter cam. That was the noise you heard in the stream. Unless it's something else, let me know. I don't think it is. I'm looking at the levels. It looks fine. Never mind. Malinowski getting close to camera into turn 1, looking for a dive up the inside, but having to wait, unfortunately, for another time. It is almost dry all over. It's green. We haven't got too fast yet. It's just green. So it's going to be somewhat slippy. The full grip's not available just yet, but it's getting there, Saf.
Yeah, and if this was a 1.5 hour race, look at that, it would have actually gotten wet again towards the end.
It would have done. You're right. We could have had specks of rain at the end of the 90-minute shift, but no, we're all good. I think, yeah, would have definitely got rain at the end, you're right. So it would have come within 10 minutes towards the end. That would have put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah. It's actually Jardia was quickest on track last lap.
Wow, turning the car on, look. Yeah, 155.9. Very good lap. Who's that around him that's kind of that same kind of pace? I don't think anyone has put anywhere near that kind of pace in yet.
The closest, I believe, is Masood with a 156.2.
Yeah, No one else has tipped into the 55s. Not even Life Story Luke at the back. 156.
BMW Niels nearly going for Ruben Malinowski. He also set a 56.2 last lap, so he's on the pace. 56.3 for Hissini. 56.2 for Babin. So some of them are about within half second, but no one's gone into 55.7 hard yet, except Luke Whitehead has just gone quickest. 155.5.
I thought Luke would be on the pace at some point in this session. Unfortunately, though, he's in 31st, isn't he?
Yeah. And Jardier has actually just matched that with a 55.5, as has Boothby, but Masood only a 55.7.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, he's losing time then. We'll keep an eye on that gap. 8 tenths is it in the moment. Amir Sini takes the crown.
Yeah, I think we're going to see those times just tumble now. So every lap there's going to be a new fastest lap now.
And they're all running around so close to each other as well. So some of these in the middle here might not have the opportunity to improve, but those who are following a couple of seconds back, the likes of Hassini, they're going to be the ones that improve. Darren King could be in that bracket. Dara McCormack could also be there. Jardier also 2 seconds back. He could possibly make some big improvements, so we'll see what happens. Dara McCormack's fallen off a little bit, hasn't he? He's 9 seconds behind Jean-Marcel Dietrich, who's a good 3 seconds behind the top 3, if not further. Yeah, he's dropped below 4 seconds now. That top 3 running away slightly. Good to see that Jardier's found himself inside the top 3. First time we've ever seen him that high up. Very, very, very excited to see if he can keep that position. I hope he does. It's looking good at the moment. I want to see what the hype's like in this stream. I bet it's incredible. I might have to quickly just experience a bit of Jardier stream hype.
Meanwhile, Malinowski under attack from BMW Niels again. And there's a slight tap. But they keep going straight for now. But Malinowski is very much under threat from that BMW. It's actually coming down chicane. There could be another go to move. BMW Niels pulls to the right-hand side to try and go around the outside. Brakes earlier to maybe try and get a better exit down to the hairpin. It's actually behind them. Amir Hassini also looking for him. BMW Niels around the outside of the last corner. Amir Hassini tries to go down the inside of Niels. None of them makes a move yet, but they have a move down. They have a run down to turn 1. And it looks like BMW Niels much quicker on the straights of Malinowski. Goes to the outside again. Amir Hassini just trying to get as much slipstream as possible. Niels again on the outside. Again breaks early. Hassini now down the inside of BMW Niels. There's a collision, but again, nobody gets spun round. No malicious intent. They keep going forward, but that has created a teensy little gap between Niels and Malinowski. But with the pace he's shown so far, that should close up fairly soon.
Fantastic little segment there, Saf.
Oh, thank you.
It was brilliant. Malinowski got a good run away from those boys then, considering how much he was under attack those last couple of laps. Yeah, BMW Niels and Hassini just fighting away. I'm watching Jardier on the side, doing his best to hold on to 3rd position. He's going to be very, very impressed, I think, and pleased if he keeps that. We'll touch base with him later. They're talking as well about the battle that we're watching right now between Malinowski, Niels, and Amir Hassini, just one further back. Boothby. Is he getting inside of that period where he can make something happen? We're getting really to the spiky end here, Saf. 1 second is the gap between Boothby and Masood. We might have to jump up and see if we can see any chance of any action coming on between these two drivers. I think Masood has done everything he needs to keep himself in that top spot. Be very surprised if he lets the ball drop now.
Jardier sets the fastest lap again.
Oh, he's really on fire now. 1 second is the gap between Boothby and Masood. He's getting there. Just needs a few little mistakes from Masood, and Boothby can get himself another win here with AOR, but it's going to be tough. Going to be tough. What's happening further back? Niels and Malinowski getting incredibly close again. 2 tenths is the gap between them two. Looks like Malinowski struggling.
Hassini going for the move again. Just diving it down the inside. Niels gets a better exit. Oh! That's a hefty collision.
That was a huge crash. And another one there on the exit.
The gloves are off between these two.
Look at the damage on the front end of Fassini's car.
I cannot see any currently.
That was a massive incident. The damage is huge. I think he'll hold on to it for now. But yeah, that was not good cricket, as they say, between the two drivers. Both of them looking to try and get past Malinowski, or at least get close. But yeah, huge damage. Did Niels just not slow the car, or did Hassini close the door? We were on board, so we didn't see.
Initially, Hassini went down the inside, pretty much dive bombing into turn 1. But unlike some drivers in other divisions, he did actually stay well on the track. Didn't like try and force the other driver off the track or anything. And then, also like Niels tried to come back and say, "Oh, you can't dive it. Here's a little tap." I know. We need another alert. But yeah, it's certainly not the best cricket, to put it the least. And we're about to go on to the final lap.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's no harm done as such, no loss of positions. However, that damage could technically stop one of them from overtaking the other. So we'll see.
Taking Malinowski.
We'll see. Well, yeah, they could have taken that Malinowski. I think Malinowski's far enough away now. Boothby falling back a little bit. Not going to be able to threaten, I don't think. Darren King half a second away from Dara. Let's see what that looks like on track. It's getting closer, but I don't think it's enough to threaten. But we will stay with Dara for the end here, just to see what happens. Niels and Hassini are probably going to come to blows going down into turn 1 again. I'm not going to lie, it's probably going to happen. But no, I think Niels is just that little bit too far back for now. We'll keep an eye on the sector times, but Redu Masood still in the lead. Got himself a second. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the gap. Then Jardier a second and a half back from Jean-Marcel Dietrich, just off the podium. Dara McCormack in 5th, Darren King in 6th, Camera in 7th, Malinowski 8th, Hassini and Niels battling for the last place, or the second to last place in the top 10. I don't think Fender is going to be able to do anything about that outside in 11th. Well, here you go. Redu Masood. I don't seem to remember Redu winning a race for quite a while. At least not since, well, season 7 possibly. Don't seem to remember him being right up there for a long time. So this is definitely a long time coming for Masood to be right up there. So very well done from him. He's still got a couple of corners to go, so I don't want to curse him, because anything can happen at the end, and sometimes it does. But here you go, Hassini still very close. Niels very close to the back of him. So we're not over yet for those boys battling it out for 10th place. But there you go. We'll come on board and stay with Masood as he comes through the last corner then. George Boothby so close behind. Oh my god, there's this loss of traction on the final corner. Where's Boothby? I don't think it's enough. Boothby's going to hold on. He's almost going to pip him to the end there. Masood, then Boothby, then Jardier claims a 3rd place finish. Fantastic job from him coming across the line in that position. Jean-Marcel Dietrich in 4th place. And we've got Dara and Darren King very close at the end there, coming across the line in 5th and 6th. Camera got it in 7th in the end. Malinowski, Hassini and Niels finished that way. There's battling and going on at the back there. Nick Babin coming across the line in 12th place. Foch in 13th. Schaefer is going to be 14th place there. Then Hamanda Hakwizi, been all over the place today, unfortunately, not always pointing the right way. Trevor Wenham has been forcing people off track, I think, all day. He's in 16th place. Dominic Goltz is coming across the line in 17th place. He's had a couple of penalties also. Marcus Lawrence, I think he's been a victim or two. He's going to come across the line in 18th, with Papin just behind, but managing to stay behind there for 19th place. Good to see Papin in the middle of the pack in Tier 1. Hugo Merles coming across the line there in 20th. And then outside of that, Adam Dubil. We got Noah Zicki in 25th, Novikov I think is in the pit, Lucas Kraser in 23rd, Jura Petrochenko in 24th, shaking off the demons of last race. Niki with those penalties, unfortunately, in 25th, Valentine Barry in 26th, Matslin Anderson 27th, Ivan 28th, Kevin Niles, Luke Whitehead managing to come across the line, or just about to at least, in P30, almost last. And then we've got Steve Favourite not doing very well this afternoon, but he's not had the best of race, bless him. And then outside of that, I think it's Franek and Gregor Schill not finishing the race today, and they round up the best there, best of the rest. There we go. Well, it would be fabulous to have a little chat with Masood, Boothby, and Jardier. I really do hope they join us for a little chat. Chat with the top 3, please. Always do that in this little chat box. There we go. Well, there you go. Maximum points to Redouin Masood for the first time. And George Boothby's going to be getting a nice little pinch of points. I think it's 80, what is it, 90 points, I think, for second place. Yeah, 81 points for third place. And obviously the full 100 for Masood for coming across the line at the front of everyone. Good race there, Zeph.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Little information there. Luke Whitehead saying, sorry. Don't know what else to say. I deserve a hard punch for that. He got a hard punch from the stewards, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. 3 penalty points. 3 penalty points is enough to sink a battleship. So he's going to be bitterly disappointed with that. Right, have any of the boys jumped in to join us for a small chat before we let these kind gentlemen go for the evening? Not too sure. Not too sure if they have. It'd be good to see Masood, Boothby.
None of them are ready for interviews, so it looks like that might be it.
Whereabouts is that?
Just above us in the Discord.
Oh, I can't see them.
No, there's no one. Ah, there we go.
Oh, there we go. We'll get Jardier first, have a little chat. Jardier, we didn't think it was going to happen, and hey, we're so surprised that it did. First time into the top 3, and first time you joined us in the comms box. Congratulations, we would definitely team you today.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. It's great. Yeah, I'm very happy.
Yeah, we came into the chat, you were desperately concentrating, and I was like, oh, will it happen? Will it happen? Do you just think the Porsche was just really, really good in those changeable conditions in the middle part of that race?
I think it was all about the settings as well. Like, for me, it was real lucky because the practice server, like 4 hours ago, had exactly the same conditions. It was like wet, and it was drying up in like 15 minutes. So we basically tried like the Porsche setup and how the car perform. So I literally, when I saw that we're gonna be driving on the wet and it's gonna be drying out, I literally just loaded the full dry setup with the pressures, and I knew exactly the pressures what to use. So I think it massively helped. I mean, it was like it was visually see because George went like way higher pressures for the last 20 minutes, and I was like so much faster in the end. So I really wish there would be 2 more laps so I can attack George.
it was close, you know. There was he came out of the pits so fast, managed to get that little gap. Did you have any damage that you fixed in that pit? Because the gap was a little bit bigger than it was when you entered.
No, I like absolutely I think I basically cost myself chance for second place in outlap. I was absolutely terrible. Like my car was having like 25 psi, and I was understeering every single corner. And then I was like, you know, on this track you have like a visual dry line in the different places. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna drive on the dry line. And I think it's maybe like a visual, well, not correct, because I was going into the chicane after Schumacher races, and I was completely on a visually dry line, but I just went straight from the corner, and I lost like 2 seconds on both George and Masoud. So
small issues that cost you possibly, you know, a little bit higher up. But hey, you know, third place is still fantastic. 81 points, I think that gains you, or at least near enough that much. It's going to put you in a very good position to get a little bit higher up this season. So yeah, long may it continue, and we hope to see you back in here again for another chat.
Oh, I really, really hope so, guys, because I mean, in Paul Ricard, the Porsche wasn't the fastest. Plus, the Paul Ricard is really not my strong track, especially with the Porsche. So I was very looking forward to Nürburgring because everybody knows it's a McLaren Porsche / Audi track. So I just wanted to use it as much as possible. And I was luckily with the same pace with the Masoud and Malinowski, and it was really important for me to gain a bit of more confidence for the next rounds. Yeah.
Well, the pace has been coming. You know, it wasn't awful last time around. We saw you up there. You know, where did you finish last time? Was it 11th place?
I think 11, yeah.
It was still good. You know, we got some smaller tracks coming in the next couple of weeks. Got Brands Hatch, Donington, and then a long Hungaroring of 90 minutes. So that it's not bad tracks for the Porsche. So yeah, hopefully some more good place finishes. So yeah, well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the chat, for staying as well. So yeah, we'll let you get back to them, mate. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much, guys.
No
Hopefully
problem.
to see you next time.
Yeah, hopefully so. There we go. That was Jardier coming in third place, giving us a little bit of a rundown. Let's get Redouin Masood in for a little chat for the win. Congratulations on the win. I don't think we've had a chat before, and if we have, it was a long time ago. So is it the first win with AOR in Tier 1?
Yes, it's my first stint, and I want to hear a thing, please. I can?
Yeah?
Okay, no problem, let's go.
Mate, congratulations. I didn't realise it was the first win. I couldn't quite remember if we've seen you up here before, right up in the top spot. It's been, the past couple of seasons, been a bit muddled. We haven't quite seen you come to, to performance like you've had today. But seeing the performance of this season and the car together, it's been really, really positive. And to pay it off with a win, absolutely amazing. You were almost unstoppable today.
Yes, I'm really happy to the race. All guys, GG for all pace doing in race. My English is not good,
It's
but
fine.
I try to. Yes, I try to speak, and I'm really happy. George, his pace is incredible on the Jaroslav Onzik, Jardier. His pace flying in rain and in dry. So GG for his better time in the session, I think.
But still, well done for the race win. It's one of those you can tick off the board. First race win with AOR in Tier 1. It doesn't come easy. So, and you had some very stiff competition. So congratulations. You can sleep easy tonight.
Thank you. Yes, I can sleep on the dream.
Yes. Hopefully we see you in here again. This is what we want. Good performances from you. Well done.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Well, there you go. There's Redouin Masood. Very happy for his first win. That's so wholesome. Oh, I love it. You can't take that away from someone. First win in an esports, in a proper setting like AOR is something to really hold on to. And if that doesn't bring you smiles, guys, I'm not too sure what can. George Boothby is not with us, so I think we'll maybe catch up with him another day. He's had enough time in here. He's had enough time at the top spot. It would have been good to touch base with him, because I don't think his car was set up for the day today. It looked very skittish, didn't it, at certain points?
Yeah, I don't know if it was the setup on the McLaren, because McCormack was quite a bit further back as well. But
struggling too.
Yeah, so hopefully they can both do a bit better next time.
Yeah, oh well, there's definitely more Mercedes tracks coming. But yeah, positive vibes from all those boys who came in and had a chat. Definitely cool to touch base with Jardier. We haven't spoken to him before. And then obviously the big smiles from Redouin Masood coming in. Really cool to see that. Well, there you go. Let's end on a high, guys. Thanks very much for jumping in. Everyone in chat who stuck by us for that hour and a bit. You can join us again tomorrow. It's not us. It would be it's John. I think it's JTR, isn't it? And Timosaurus doing the Tier 2 stuff. So do come and join us for that. I think it's Timosaurus. Yeah, JSR will be joining for tomorrow. He's in there he is. He's there. He's in the chat. So join us again for 7:30 for Tier 2. It's probably similar conditions, and we'll get to have another go at it as well. So you can join us at the same time, same place for that. And yeah, I think we're next week. Where did we say we were? Donny, wasn't it? Or Brands Hatch, one or the other. So we're back to the British tracks. So the home for some of these drivers. Yeah, Brands Hatch. Oh, that's going to be fun. Brands Hatch is such a great race. It's so small and technical for GT3. Incredibly hard to overtake. So that will be very, very good to see how well some of the cars go around there in full chat. Well, there we go. We'll end it there, guys. A first win for Redouin Masood. A first podium for Jardier. George Boothby manages to get some good points. And unfortunately, Luke Whitehead not getting a very good points finish. The season's going to be a crazy one. Join us next week for more.
See you then. Bye.